Today I'm with Melissa Cantillo. Melissa is a AAAI certified personal trainer. And Melissa, you work at the place that I've always wanted to go to, and that is Canyon Ranch.
That is correct.
How long have you worked at Canyon Ranch?
Great question. So, talk about an evolution of a job. I have been with Canyon Ranch full time for 8 years. In 3 years ago, I was part of the team, full time instructor teaching 4 8-hour days. That's pretty much what our schedule is. And about 3 years ago, we had a little restructuring within the company, and I was asked to apply for the fitness manager role, to which I did receive. So I evolved from a full-time group fitness instructor into part-time fitness instructor because I still teach, and full-time fitness manager at Canyon Ranch in Lenox, Massachusetts, which is an amazing job. Fun fact, I wish I had found this place 25 years ago, but I've got it now. And this is where I'm just evolving and changing and doing the job that I love the most. I get to be with guests who are here, and whether they're here for a personal change in their life, whether they're here for finding fitness and health and whatever, but I get to help create with my team classes, clinics, and hopefully make a change in people's lives to let them
That's
be happy and healthier throughout their
that,
entire life.
that is fantastic.
Yeah,
One day I will make it
you're
to
gonna
Canyon
get
Ranch.
here. I'm gonna make it happen.
It's on, it's on the bucket list.
Yeah, it's an amazing place. It
Yeah,
really is.
it certainly looks that way. Melissa, how did you come to be AAAI ISMA certified?
Wow. All right. So, again, another long story, but we'll keep it short and sweet. So, back in the I've been in fitness now for about 35 years. So, I really jumped in to fitness after, just to give you a little background, had my first child, gained a ton of weight, had always been active and in athletics, but kind of, gave myself that permission to just eat whatever I felt like eating and let it go. But I ended up needing to find something for myself. And I started taking classes, kind of dance, if you will, dance fitness. At least that's what we called it back then. And it really slowly evolved. I started in group fitness with a different certification company, which I adore. And then as I evolved, I really did realize that I needed my personal training. I was always in group fitness. I love being in the classroom. I love being surrounded by people. But one on one is really something that you can do to make a change in somebody's life. Of course, we all find loves of dance or loves of lifting weight, but when you can connect with a person, whether they be somebody who is just stepping into fitness or just needs a little tweak, maybe their posture is off, that's where you can really connect with the person. I have been taking AAAI classes and gone to conferences since the late 90s. Yes! Hello. Thank you, Nora. And I connected with several people that were master trainers for AAAI. Janice Saffel, Scott Cole, Calvin Wiley, you of course, and taken all of your classes. And literally I've sat in your classes, Joe, and just gone, wow, eye-opening credentials, eye-opening facts, and things that really made me say, this is the time to do this. So now you're going to ask me when I did this, and I can't really remember, but I do believe it was in the early 2000s that then I said, let's go and get my personal trainer through AAAI. And it is such a great product. I remember it very well. I don't remember my master trainer's name. She was lovely, but I had a lot under my belt already, so I didn't feel that I was starting from ground zero. So, but there were many with us that were very fresh in the industry. And she took the time, gosh, I wish I could remember her name. I'm so sorry that I don't. But she took the time and really dove deep with each of us that were in the group. I believe there were about 12 of us. And then we went through all of the testing and, testing each other and all that fun stuff, which of course I just gravitate to and absorb. And the rest is history. I have stayed a AAAI personal trainer, and that's where I will stay.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, wow, been around the block a few times.
Ain't we all?
Ain't we all? And you know what? That's the one thing about, all conferences, but AAAI very specifically. When Nora founded the company, and God bless her, I'm sorry we've lost her, but was just such a grassroots person, and she really helped us become a community. You can be in this industry, and of course I'm going to say it, there's a lot of ego. There's a lot of, I'm better than you, and I'm sorry, but I've been through that too. But now I'm kind of evolved and grown, and I embrace every single person in this industry, and what I know that they don't know, maybe I can share, and what they know that I don't know, please share with me. And that is something that I absolutely have to say AAAI has done. It is a community. It is a group of friends where we share and we evolve and we learn and we find new things. And let's keep doing it, because we want to be the best 98-year-olds that we can be.
Yeah, definitely. No doubt
Yeah.
about it. Yeah. How has AAAI helped you bring fitness to the public?
Well, I'll tell you what. Again, pre-pandemic, if we will, I was that gypsy going from this club to that club to this club. People are always asking, what are your credentials? Why are you coming here? Why do I trust you? Wow, I just probably opened a huge can of worms there. But I want everybody who's listening to this to be very aware that people that are certified through well-credentialed companies that are, well known. There's others. I love AAAI because we are known. We do have fact-based information. And when instructors or personal trainers go to a new club or a new setting or a new facility, you need to know as a person who you are hiring, who you are giving your body to help it maintain, grow, get stronger with good information and fact-based information. I'm not dissing anybody that's out as an influencer or people that are trying to find their space. But you have to know your facts. You have to be educated. And that is the one thing about AAAI that I just am so proud of. AAAI has constant certifications, classes to take, whether it be online or in person. And it's not just, I looked at a YouTube video, no offense YouTube video of Mary Smith, and no offense to any Mary Smith that's on there, please don't attack me. I just pulled a name out of my brain. But I don't know what their credentials are. I don't know what they're doing is right for my body. And probably 7 times out of 10 it's not, because you may have a sensitivity in a shoulder, a knee, a hip. Maybe you can't touch the floor. Maybe your body isn't as mobile as it used to be. So doing some move that you're seeing may not resonate in your body and may do more harm than good. So having credentialed instructors through AAAI is the way to go. And when they know that you are educated, well, that's it. I mean, that's what we do. And this is what we do for a living, right?
Exactly.
Let's do it.
Is there a niche that you work within? Do you work with athletes, kids, older folks?
I feel like, again, I don't want to sound like the be-all, end-all. There was a time when I've always worked with adults. I've always worked with, as I progressed through my life, started with the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, and going on up. I've done a lot with children. I can remember decades ago when children's fitness came in, I had gone to another conference and I was just fully absorbed into doing kids' work. which really did well. I've worked with Scott Cole with his kids programs back in the past as well too. And then coming into where I am now at Canyon Ranch, and I will backtrack just a hot second because there was a time when I first met Scott Cole and Janice Sappho, and I did a lot of stretching work with Scott, then into Janice, and I had already been into kickboxing back in the really grassroots of it as well, which I trained with Michael Alajade, which he was a featherweight champion, and he taught me how to do all of those things. I connected with Janice, and I was her girl on the back left. I was always over the shoulder. So that was a ton of fun, and I felt like myself and my coworker Laura Collins and my other coworker Barb Kane, we really pulled so much fun in kickboxing in our northern New Jersey area when we all were there. We did a lot of conferences, we did a lot of presentations, and that was my niche for a long time. Then coming into Canyon Ranch, it truly opened up a door for me that I knew existed, but I was in the gyms. I was in where the people already were coming. And so I saw this person every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, this person every Tuesday, Thursday, this person could only come on Saturdays. But now where I am, because it is transient, and I mean that in a loving way, we have people come and stay for a week, maybe 2 weeks if they're lucky enough. Maybe they're only there for 3 days. And our facility has medical, we have metaphysical, spirituality, we have sports performance. So we're seeing anywhere from an NFL player to a person who may be coming out of a medical issue that is just learning how to stand up on their own and sit down on their own. Mm-hmm. So it is truly A to Z that we get at Canyon Ranch. Because of this, thank God I have the arsenal of information that I have. Mm-hmm. Because I may really resonate with that person who is coming out of this medical condition, that they need to learn balance, they need to learn to stand up, sit down on their own. They need to just be able to walk and get up the stairs. Or maybe there's somebody who is coming out of their physical therapy after a hip replacement or a knee replacement, and they need a little bit more strength training. To menopausal women, hello, and learning about bone density, osteopenia prevention, osteoporosis prevention. Let's pick up the big weight. Let's put it down. Let's not be afraid you're going to look like a big bulky woman. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen unless you're doing something for that. That's not our goal. We just want to be strong, upright humans. And AAAI, as well as other places, but mainly AAAI, because of your constant education, has helped me with all of these things. And if I'm not the person that is the expert in the area, I have an avenue and a library of people to go to learn things from, and to help my team, because I do have a team of about 15 to 20 that I help, and I'm constantly shooting them articles and shooting them seminars. You don't know this? Take this. This is how we learn. This is how we evolve, and this is how we stay trending and constant education under our belts. It's that simple.
Yeah, that's great. When you've worked with a myriad of people over the years,
yeah,
is there a win that stands out for you that you think about and you're like, wow, that was really neat. I'm really glad I was able to take part in that.
I love that question, Joe. And to be very honest with you, I've had many wins. In my early part of being a group exercise instructor and personal trainer, just getting the, thank you so much. My gosh, that was fun. You go in as you begin in this industry, like literally shaking in your pants, thinking, okay, I hope I don't mess up. I hope I remember all my choreography. Does it matter? No, guys, it doesn't matter. They don't know, only you know. So let that fly out of your head. But just the thank yous in the very beginning. But of recent, the things that really stand out in my mind, I had this most lovely woman. She was in her 80s, but she was a ball of fire. And she was slowly realizing that she was losing some of her mobility, she was losing some of her strength. And it was a matter of just sitting down with this person, having a quiet, calm conversation, letting that connection happen. If you want to have success in this industry, if you want to be helpful, your ego has to be left at the door. And you have to be open enough to listen to your client, to let them tell you their story. Like, don't talk, listen. Allow your brain to click, 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 to understand what their needs are. And with this lovely, lovely woman, I just was able to sit with her and absorb, and we took little bit by little bit. I still see her virtually, which is wonderful. We are able to do virtual trainings at Canyon Ranch, which is so helpful in today's world. People can't come to me, I can't go to them, but we can connect this way. So just by allowing her to evolve in her own space and time, learning how to sit back down on a chair, learning how to forward flex, get up, use the legs, use the strength of your legs. Then we start slowly, methodically adding in weight training to her menu of work. And because of this, she is now able to walk without a walker. She is able to function in her home, do functional fitness, grab that plate off of the shelf, which she had to have assistance with. Those are the things that I love. I know that I'm progressing through my life. And I just really feel that that kind of help is wonderful. Now, on the flip side of it, Joe, hitting people that come in their 30s, 40s, of course, that's paramount. We want to make sure that they're educated and understand. And those are wonderful things as well, because many people, and I'm going to hit the women, they think that they're going to get big and bulky and beefy if they pick up a 25-pound dumbbell. It's not going to happen unless you're taking an exorbitant amount of testosterone and feeling your body the way that we need to for that particular kind of work. It's just so important that everyone understands that we must maintain our muscle mass, our bone density. Lean, no muscle, no bueno. No booty, no bueno. We need to have an amazing, strong posterior chain. That's what propels us forward. That's what keeps us strong and healthy and upright. And just helping people in that regard, and helping this one particular human who is just a beautiful, lovely woman, she can now walk and not worry about tripping and falling. She's picking up her feet. Hello, no more walker for you. You're great. So there's that.
That is fantastic. You're making a difference in her life, and it's funny you mentioned she's 80. When I teach personal trainer classes, I often talk about the older population, and again,
Yes.
there's more older people in the United States now than ever before in human history, and I sometimes bring up my own grandmother who lived to 104, and
Wow. I want to
yeah,
be that.
yeah. And one of the things that I think a lot of trainers miss is that when you are working with somebody that old, you may be the only person they come in contact with.
Yes.
And they have stories. I often talk about my own grandmother remembering the Titanic sinking and remembering it well, the Titanic sinking. So great stories. And also there's not only that physical thing you're doing with people, helping them get better physically, but also mentally. People who have friends and have social networks tend to live longer, have better quality of life. And so, you're making a difference on more than just the physical, I think. And
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the whole point. I've said to my teams before, finding a personal trainer, I hope this isn't inappropriate, But finding a personal trainer is like a woman finding a bathing suit that fits properly. We hate it. We hate going shopping for bathing suits. We look at ourselves in the mirror. We say all the unkind things, which stop doing that. Stop it. And not one size fits all as far as personal trainers go. I've had trainers for myself. You know, it's like a therapist. A therapist needs a therapist. As a personal trainer, I need a personal trainer because I know what to do, but I need the help and the push to do what I should be doing. So I think it's a hand-in-hand thing. But one size doesn't fit all. So if the person and you don't click, that's okay.
Yeah.
Help them find somebody who would click with them. And if they are, for example, we have 2 people on our team that are, they're very educated in cancer workouts, personal trainers in cancer. And so if we have a guest that is coming off of breast cancer or just finished their chemo or their routines, I'm not the person for them. This is the person for them. And that's part of what I do. I get the information from our wellness guides as much as we can get because we don't ask certain questions. The guest will give us that information. And if I find out that they have a sensitivity in some space, I'm going to move from this trainer to that trainer because they're the one that has the ammo to go and help them become the best that they can be. It's just part of what we do.
It's a great thing. Nobody knows everything, and some people are more comfortable with men versus women. And again, if you have a special knowledge, like definitely cancer, you want to search out a fitness trainer who knows about cancer and exercise. I think it's paramount.
Absolutely. I mean, if somebody did have breast removed, you certainly wouldn't be like going like this with a 50-pound weight. I mean, my gosh, that would be scary. Let's not do that. So the same thing with a knee, a hip, anything. So it's so important to know this and to recognize that maybe you might not be the right trainer for them.
Right.
Maybe this one is. It's important to know that.
It is. It's exactly right. Along the same lines, what do you wish more trainers knew about that maybe they don't?
I would like to see more information. Okay, I'm gonna speak about some of the younger people coming into this industry, and I might segue into group fitness as well for this, as well as personal training. I love me a good Peloton ride. I love me a good Les Mills workout. I love all those things. But I really feel that as a trainer, as a instructor, group exercise instructor, we need to really expand. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Expand out. Learn things. Things may not be your forte. I love Zumba, but I am not a Zumba instructor. The hips just don't work that way. I wish they did, but they don't. Same thing with personal training. Expand. Learn about younger bodies. Learn about older bodies. I hate that word older. I always say progressed. I always say, let's progress together. So, but we have to learn about that. If you're a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old, you're real mobile. You could be very mobile. Although, there could be a 40-year-old who's very, very fragile. Maybe they're going through something in their lives that their bodies are rebelling. So you have to be open-minded, learn more about, I hate to say the aging population, the progressed population. Learn more about maybe illnesses that are happening within the body. Don't just think that because you pass your personal training exam, you can train everyone. Keep yourself educated. Learn new things. Open up the books. Yes, there are lots of people out there on social media to learn from, but know who they are.
Right.
Do background information on them. Make sure they have the education behind them. Again, that's why AAAI is so important. When Nora founded this company, she made sure that every single person had a master's degree who was an educator, Unfortunately, I don't, so I could never be an educator for her. But I learned so much from all of your team, this entire group of people that are AAAI educators, because they have the education behind them. They know what they're talking about. They're not reading one article and spewing. So for the people coming into this industry, and we need people in this industry, I love this industry. I'm so happy I found it back in my early 30s. If I didn't, I don't know what I would be doing. Honest to God, I have zero idea what I would be doing. But it was in my threshold of understanding. I gravitated to the people. I loved being in the group setting. I love working one-on-one. And if anybody coming into this industry fresh and new happens to see this or is finding out about it, whether in college or whatever, please jump in. Please study. Please don't give up. It is important. It is important work. We need more people, and we need well-educated people. So again, don't just stay in one lane. Learn in one lane, then start to expand. Start to, go off the little streets and avenues of different studies. It's so important for all of us.
It is. And as I sometimes say, it's the difference between being a certified personal trainer and a qualified personal trainer.
Ooh. Well, that's a nice thing to say. I like that. Very
Feel
nice.
free to use it.
I'm stealing it. Thank you.
Sure.
That's what we do in this industry. We never steal it. We borrow and we
Right.
expand, right? Okay, I'm
Right.
taking steal away. I'm
Feel
borrowing
free.
it.
And since we're talking education, AAAI-ISMA is going back to Atlantic City for the first conference since the craziness of the pandemic, June 6th through the 8th. We're looking forward to being there. What are some of the advantages of attending a conference that maybe people aren't thinking about?
It's the community. It's truly the community. Gosh darn that pandemic, it really messed us up, didn't it? But it also opened up other avenues of learning as well. I will be there on June 6th. There's no question about it. I miss my friends in this industry.
Yeah.
It is a wonderful thing to take class online. But online, even though online is great, being in the room with all of these fitness instructors, the energy, just the excitement, the being able to hug someone that you haven't seen in 5 years, or literally see the person that you have watched on Zoom maybe for a certification, like you, Joe, just to hug you and say, yes, we're here, this is wonderful. That is the one thing about fitness and education. We are a community. We really are. And just seeing like-minded people and the effervescence of all of us get together and then taking a class from like a Calvin Wiley and just his attitude and his movements and his sass, it's great online, but getting there in person is a completely different story.
Yeah.
So if you're around the Atlantic City area, and even if you're not, it's a quick flight into AC or come into Newark and then drive down. It's just the Parkway. It's not a big deal. And let's all get together and just absorb each other's energy and learn and thrive and then take it home and spread it to the people that we get to work with. Like, what a gift that we are able to give.
Yeah, I will always remember when we were at the Hyatt in Princeton last October,
Yes.
and it was around, I don't know, 9:30 at night, and you rolled in at that time, and I saw you coming, and you saw Janice Saffel, and you went like, Janice, and you came.
I hadn't seen her in 4 years,
I
and
know,
she is my girl. She is my girl, and
I know.
I did. I was exhausted. That was a 4-hour drive because I came from up here, and I was like, I'm getting there. Darn it, I'm getting there. And yes, and to see you and Mike was there as well. It was. You guys, it was just the best thing to see you all in person, to
Yeah.
actually touch you, to hug you, and Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I miss my
I
friends so much.
I will always remember you running down the steps and grabbing and hugging Janice. I wish I had a better picture of it. I don't, but I think I have some picture. I don't know if I sent it to you or not, but it's not the best
I
picture.
think you sent it to me, but I was like, oh, that's not a good picture.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking. I should have had
Okay, I was on the road for 4 hours, so I know this wasn't happening.
but it was a great time. It really was.
It was. It was a
What
cool
last
environment.
question?
Yeah.
Last question. What advice do you have for, say, the fitness trainers that are watching us or listening to us right now? They maybe they're brand new in the industry, or maybe they've been around a while. Is there any like words of wisdom you have for them to help them be better in their career or anything like that?
I was jokingly going to say to you, no, I have nothing. But in all honesty, I've mentioned it before. Stay educated.
Yeah.
Things, I think you can agree with this, Joe. We've been around the block for a long time. We've seen everything 360 and 360 again. Um, Stay open minded. Listen. Listen to your guests. Listen to your people that come take your classes, to your colleagues. Listen. Don't be obstinate. Don't say I know everything. Be open-minded. Educate yourself. If you see something that you question, that you don't feel is appropriate, dig in. Reach out to people like you, Joe. Reach out to the people that you know are on the cutting edge of everything. And don't just jump on a trend,
Right.
because trends, they can be great and well-founded and well-rounded and understood, they can also be a little, is that right? I'm not sure. So educate yourself. Be open-minded. Take the chance. If I didn't take the chance, I wouldn't be where I am today. Truly, I'm not even kidding. When my original mentor, Shirley Cisco, who may or may not be listening to this, looked at me and said, I think you can do this. I think that you've got this. And I went, hey, what? What are you talking about? This is a thing? Teaching fitness? Being a personal trainer? This is a thing? I I didn't know. And she took me hand in hand and helped me learn, opening up the books, reading, testing me on my anatomy and physiology. There are mentors around. Find the mentors. If you're stuck, reach out to somebody like Joe right there. Reach out to me. Easy reach out. And ask the questions. Don't be afraid. Take the chance. You may stumble and fall, but pick yourself up and do it again and figure it out. And keep reading, keep educating yourself. If a chance opens up, take the chance. I know there's that adage, fake it till you make it. I don't really like that in our industry. I want you educated. But if you've got a good manager, a good director in a facility that you work at or gym that you work at, ask the questions. Ask the questions. That's really it. And then take the chance.
Yeah.
Open it up. If I didn't take the chance and put my want out there 8 years ago, I would not be where I am today. And thank God I am, because I adore my job. I adore helping people. I adore helping my team learn more. And if I don't have the answer to the question, I have an arsenal of people that I can reach out to and say, hey, I've got this team member that needs this education. Can you steer me in the right direction? And there you go. We are here for each other. So
Yeah.
let's all be a community and reach out.
Yeah.
That's it.
I couldn't say it better myself.
Thanks.
Melissa, this was a great conversation. I really appreciate your time.
My
And yeah,
pleasure.
yeah, one day I will make it out to Canyon Ranch.
Oh, you are, and we're going to make that dream happen. Don't you worry about that.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. This is a lot of fun. I'm learning things too.
Good. Me too.
Yeah.
We will forever evolve.
Yes.
Good.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a great day.
And you too.
Thanks.
Cool. All right. Keep going. I'm going to stop.
All right.
I'll stop this. So.
You stop it.